All right, so understanding emotional intelligence and developing self-awareness. Why EQ matters in enhancing life experience, work performance, and well-being of individuals and groups. So a lot of coaches, okay, would just wanna talk about themselves. Talk about themselves, their experiences. Please don't be that coach. I also made that wrong decision. You know, they don't care about what you did. They don't really care about like the details of what happened when you were heartbroken, or you know, the focus should be them. If they ask, yes, you answer, but again, be very mindful to always come back to them. You know, don't overshare, and don't tell them more than they ask of you. Okay, so be there to listen. Be there to primarily listen. If you have this temptation to, if you're tempted to share, talk to yourself. Is it really right to share this right now? Maybe it's just gonna prolong the course, the session, and it's not. But if it's really valuable, then of course, valuable information, then of course you share, right? But the thing is, it's very important to have emotional intelligence in coaching. When it comes to coaching, EQ or EI is very essential. When both parties have a high degree of self-awareness and self-regulation, communication flows smoothly, allowing coaching to be facilitated successfully. That's why in this life coaching course, we're already doing the self-discovery. You're building your self-awareness here, your emotional intelligence, so that as you coach others, you have a high degree of self-awareness and self-regulation. High EI is the utmost important characteristic of any human being because it can deeply impact the quality of one's relationships. This is also the fifth habit in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, one of my favorite books. Seek first to understand than to be understood. Or then to be understood. First, you seek to understand before you seek to be understood. So listen first, listen. It can deeply impact the quality of relationships. It's also quite essential in a coaching relationship on both sides. So you know what? With all of my coaching, one-on-one coaching, and I'm still learning, okay? I'm still learning. It's not like I'm doing it perfectly all the time. You learn as you grow, and allow it to be messy in the beginning, and then you'll find your way around your coaching sessions. Most of the time they just want someone to listen to them. They just want someone to vibe with and hold space for them. You don't really need to be there prepared with all your golden nuggets of wisdom, like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that, this is what's the right thing, or the quote, my coach told me this inspiring quote that you should, like, you shouldn't be very strict about the fact that a coach should always give out that golden nugget of wisdom. You can just simply be there to facilitate self-awareness, to listen, and to feel what your client is feeling. I'll be also recommending some exercises to you. Like, one exercise that I do is the forgiveness exercise. That's basically allowing space for your client to talk to a person in the spiritual realm, and release resentment, a heavy heart, release all the heaviness in his or her heart. And that's not you telling them what to do. It's them. You're just there to facilitate. It's them really saying the words out loud. And there's also power with saying the words out loud. So there's a forgiveness exercise wherein you don't have to tell, your client doesn't have to tell you what she's saying to the person that she is forgiving. But I would recommend you to encourage your client to speak it out loud. Okay, because there are like other, because I've been through I've learned so much modalities. There are modalities wherein you just allow your client to be quiet the whole time. I find that there's much more release when you allow your client to really speak out loud what happened in the meditation, what is happening during the meditation. You know, there's also this exercise wherein you speak to your highest version of yourself. You have to allow them to speak, and you're just really there to listen, facilitate, you know, encourage them to share more. And that takes a lot of emotional intelligence. You don't have to always give all the words of wisdom all the time. You know, just be there. Just be there. Just be there, emotionally be there. Okay, so according to Daniel Goleman, emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions so they can be expressed appropriately and effectively. So it is the predictor of success in our relationships, both in the workplace and in our private life. And there's a danger if you lack emotional intelligence. It can cause serious damage to our relationships. We're not fully aware of what is happening to us in any situation. We do not understand what we feel and what is causing it. And we cannot communicate our needs in a constructive and non-violent way. As a result, people with low emotional intelligence experience emotional outbursts, are argumentative, blame others, and do not listen. I believe I was like this before. I was the youngest. I am the youngest. Actually, I said I was the youngest because I thought I was the youngest. And then my dad turned out to have other kids with a mistress. So in the end, I'm not the youngest. So I grew up, I thought I was the youngest. And so I was a bit more like spoiled, entitled. I would have these outbursts, you know. So I built my emotional intelligence. It's like a muscle, you can build it. And one way is always checking in with yourself. What am I feeling right now? Doing your meditation, your journaling every day. Yeah, so we are not fully aware of what is happening to us in any situation. We do not understand what we feel and what is causing it, and we cannot communicate our needs in a constructive and non-violent way. That is when we lack emotional intelligence. And the goal is to be fully aware of what is happening to us. So that involves mindfulness, being the present moment. The goal is to understand what we feel in each and every moment and what is causing what we feel. And the goal is to always communicate our needs in a constructive and non-violent way, peaceful way. As a result, people with low emotional intelligence experience emotional outbursts, are argumentative, blame others, and do not listen, right? I know that you know a lot of people who are like this. And the goal is to have the coping mechanism. The goal is to help your clients build strong emotional intelligence, to deal with unforeseen setbacks, and to be able to deal with emotionally charged situations. Okay, so it involves self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, okay, and social skills. So emotional intelligence is the basis of coaching for both parties. If both the coach and the client are fully aware and in control of their emotions, their communication will be smooth and effective. Emotional intelligence is one of the first skills you have to grow as a coach. Being aware of your own emotions is very, very important as a coach. Because how can you teach others if you're not even aware of your own emotions? Okay. It's very important to bring the right presence to the room and handle anything that can happen skillfully and effectively.